Yo, yo, yo. Happy Tuesday. I believe it is a Tuesday. Let's get this party started. This is a makeup session from our Saturday Slay Security Plus. I hope everybody's doing well out there. Yes, this is the same office we normally stream from. Casually Joseph from the Simply Cyber community came to visit me shortly before Wild West Hacking Fest, and this was his bedroom for a minute. So I got to take it back and set it back up as the music and streaming room. But for now, it is what it is. Hopefully I'm loud and clear. Let me get my voice turned up just a little bit. Turn this music down. Oh, no, I don't want it completely off. I see Branda Snack Panic, always awesome AM, and Steph Cluis in the house. This is a different time than we normally do. We normally stream on Saturdays at 2 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern. I had to play a concert, play some music out of town, outside of Aspen. And so I was on the road playing a show, went pretty well, but now I'm back. Oh, let me clock out of lunch, or clock out for lunch. I am actually on the clock, and I am working, and I'm using some lunch time that I have to do this awesome stream, because I miss y'all. So bear with me here. Talk amongst yourselves. Sleepy Queen, welcome to the party. How is everybody's Tuesday going? Let me know in chat. If you are watching this for the first time, you can just skip past all this. This is me not taking care of business before I jumped on stream. There we go. Agent 57, welcome to the party, pal. You welcome to the party, pal. Good to see you. Diana Rodriguez, aka Sophie, says, "Hey Jesse, it's Sophie. I just wanted to take the time to thank you again for helping me pass my CompTIA Sec Plus by doing these meetings." That is what I'm talking about. If we can be part of your journey in any capacity, just help to do anything to help you get over that hump, then it just makes it all worth it. Whether there's one person here or 1,000 people here, it does not matter to me. As long as we are doing something to contribute to your success, letting us be part of your journey, truly, it means the world. So good on you. You took the time, you studied. That's your certification. But thank you for letting me here at Slay Security Plus be part of that journey. If you're just joining us, it's a Tuesday and you're maybe doing some GRC work, hashtag GRC Mafia, or you're job hunting and you're kind of at your wit's end, or maybe you're preparing for your Security Plus because you want to start job hunting and this is your first time. My name is Jesse J, aka the Cos Cowboy, and we do live study sessions every week using really good, top tier, quality practice questions to help you practice, help you study for and successfully pass your CompTIA Security Plus certification. That way, it's just one more, get that notch in your belt, get that certification, put on your resume. I know it's tough out there, but it is, and a lot of times, that first step into getting into the industry. I work as a cybersecurity specialist working in healthcare, specializing really in mostly right now incident response, and then engineering our EDR and getting through phishing. So sorting through lots of phishing, responding to alerts, tuning the EDR and our different tools, and then also helping my manager come up with better policy to bring that to our C-suite and go from there. Operation Tech Takeover says, peace and blessings, chat. Thanks for this, Jesse. Absolutely, it is my pleasure to be here. Let's get started, but before we do, I want to take a quick second and thank our session sponsor. ThreatLocker is our sponsor for Slay Security Plus. We don't want to let zero-day exploits or supply chain attacks keep you up at night, and I don't want you to worry, so worry no more and let ThreatLocker harden your security. Worldwide, companies trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations moving. ThreatLocker takes a deny by default approach, meaning they say no out the gate until you can verify, deny, then verify. To cybersecurity, and it provides a full audit of every action, whether it's allowed or it's blocked, Then you can use this for risk management or compliance. Their operation and onboarding is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Hero support team. Get a free 30-day trial if you're interested, which I highly suggest you check it out, especially for your organization, something you can tell your bosses about, tell your C-suite about. Get that free 30-day trial and see how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. Okay, folks, let's get into the questions. I think we talked last week about doing one PBQ every week at the beginning of our sessions. And so I want to honor that. And that's what we're going to go into. Let's go into a performance-based question. Let's do one that doesn't take up the entire time we have. So this is what a PBQ looks like, otherwise known as a performance-based question. Your CompTIA Security Plus certification test will start out with a performance-based question, between 1 and 5 of them. And before we get started, I wanted to let you know that I am battling my kids were sick for over a week, and then I got it. And so I'm battling some junk, some nonsense in here. So if I cough, sound a little funky, bear with me. I will get better. Today's beverage sponsor is some unknown pre-workout energy drink in my shaker cup here, getting me through the day. This is a performance-based question. It takes a more hands-on and a realistic approach to your cybersecurity questions. At the end of the day, we like to think of these as more of a glorified multiple choice, but typically the performance-based question will have everything from drag and drop questions and answers. It'll do things like drag and drop. Perhaps it will have some fill in the blank. In this case, this has drop down menus. And for some reason, I'm not seeing those on the interface. Bear with me. Let's get that taken care of. Let's try that again. Share screen. Share the entire screen. That'll help. Here we go. Okay, now we should see these drop downs. So let's start with this first performance-based question. We'll get as far as we can, and we're just going to take a whack at it. Remember, you start out between 1 and up to 6 of these on your certification exam. They take a little bit more time to answer. They typically require a little bit more thinking, some more of a hands-on approach. And so it's highly recommended, you've heard me say it and probably other people in the industry that help teach Security Plus, that it's recommended that you do all of your multiple choice questions first, then circle back around to these PBQs. A lot of times, some of the questions, the multiple choice questions will help get the brain going and will help you answer some of these questions. Let's see what our scenario is. You are a new security support specialist for a large shipping and logistics organization. In your role, you provide support to your organization's internal users via help desk ticketing system. Currently, you're reviewing, assessing, and diagnosing recent support tickets in your support system's ticket queue. Each ticket provides a description of the issue and, in some cases, additional notes from other technicians. It's important to note that many end users do not have the same technical skills. Therefore, some description may require close review to fully interpret and understand the user's issues. Hey, Jesse, you got some zinc? Oh, take some zinc? Yeah, I should be taking some zinc. Help limit the cold duration. Yeah, I'll get on that. Probably after this, I'll take some zinc. I got some on top of the fridge. All right, so we're working as a security support analyst for a company, and we're looking at some of these tickets. Let's start with the first one. Message. I've received an email from what appeared to be one of our business partners. They were extremely friendly, referred to a recent dinner they had with our CEO, Mr. Daniels, and mentioned there was a pending invoice on their end from us. Okay. My brain's already started to think I don't like the invoice. They indicated that given the close relationship and the importance of the upcoming project, the CEO suggested they reach out to me directly to sort this out. An hour later, I received an email with a purchase order document attached. I clicked and opened it. It was a document that asked me to verify banking information, which I provided. Help. Oh, yikes. That is one of the worst things. I get phishing alerts almost daily. Not daily, but I get quite a few phishing alerts. Luckily, our users are pretty well trained not to click and open anything. That's always the worst when they say, I clicked it, I opened it, because I'm going to go through a whole remediation process to take care of that. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. I got an email from what appeared to be one of the business partners. They were extremely friendly. Updated 9/12/23. Here's the notes from Tier 1 support. Looked at email message received from Jim at topnotchconsulting.com. I know if you're using your phone right now, this is really hard to see. That's just kind of the nature of the beast. I don't know if we can look a little closer. Yeah, we can. Try to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Looked at email message received from Jim at topnotchconsulting.com. Obviously some things that stand out before we even look at the drop downs is this Jim at Top Notch. We see the top is kind of leet speak, right? With the numbers kind of referencing alpha characters. So top notch. So we are already thinking in my head, CEO, some kind of invoice scam. Okay. Diagnosis: misinformation, phishing, smishing, vishing, or is this whaling? What do we think? Misinformation, phishing, smishing, which would be a SMS attack, right? A text attack, a text phishing. Vishing, the V in vishing is for voice, so phone phishing, or whaling. Whaling is where we target somebody typically in the C-suite. They say whaling because we think the whales of the ocean, right? With the most resources, the most fat on the bones. I've been working in nephrology for the last 18 years. Kidney patients can only take certain things. We always tell our patients to take it when they're getting sick. Yep. I heard it. Well, I'm doing some. So I've got, side note, while we look through some of these answers, what we think this is, and put what you think the answer is in chat. Is it misinformation, phishing, smishing, vishing, or whaling? Recently got back into the gym pretty heavily, trying to do some hypertrophy, get jacked, as they say. In Operation Tech Takeover, I was told you can have up to 100 grams of protein per meal without any kidney damage. What do you think of that? So this was received from message. I received an email from what appeared to be. This is either going to be phishing or whaling. What do you all think? Yeah, this Jalen Morgan, it doesn't say what their position is, but without knowing their position and just being that maybe it's the front desk, Jalen Morgan, it does not say. With our CEO, mentioned there was a pending invoice on their end from us. They indicated that given our close relationship and the importance of the upcoming project, the CEO suggested they reach out to me directly to sort this out. I'd say phishing as well. This is our adversary tactics. Is it authority, consensus, familiarity, social proof, or is this urgency? What do we think? And on the real PBQs, you might only get 2 of these, instead of 3. These ones that are in the Cert Master are a little bit harder, significantly harder, and a little longer, which is good because that way when you sit down, hopefully they won't be such a shock. Yeah, familiar. Steph Cluis, along with familiarity. They were extremely friendly. They referred to a recent dinner they had with our CEO, Mr. Daniels. They indicated that given our close relationship and the importance of the upcoming project, I don't see authority here. Doesn't seem like it's a consensus attack. Familiarity, Sleepy Queen says. Steph Cluis is going with familiarity. Let's go with familiarity. Mitigation. Avoid clicking links, block external emails, caller ID, record calls, or user training. Steph Cluis. They're acting like they're familiar with the CEO. Right, exactly. Oh, we went to dinner. We had a wonderful time. The CEO asked that I take care of this and help sort this out. Document attached. I clicked and opened it. It was a document that asked me to verify banking information, so credential harvesting of some kind, or bank sensitive information harvesting. What's the mitigation? Well, you can't block external emails because a lot of times a company deals with external clients, so that wouldn't make any sense. The question has already stated that we're dealing with an email attack of some kind, a phishing attack. So we know it's not caller ID or record calls, meaning that our only 2 options here are avoid clicking links or user training. Nope, I think my kidneys are good. I used to drink a little bit back in the day when I was touring. Definitely calmed down since then. I try and stick to real food. Yeah, but I do shakes once in a while. Yeah, either user training or avoid clicking links. I think avoid clicking links is super important, but if you train your end users properly, you're going to train them to avoid clicking links. So I'm going to go with user training as well. All right, next one. Ticket 5253, opened in a couple days, submitted by Carly Levitt. Message. I received an email from IT to install the remote app to fix my PC. I had to ship out a few boxes, so I let the support person work as he was in a rush. When I came back, my computer was on a pornography site and it was doing pop-ups. Ew. What were you fixing anyways? Updated the next day from tier 1 support, found DNS domain name service host file to be misconfigured with malicious entries. So let's say they went into that Etsy host where you have the different DNS. Remember, the domain name service takes fully qualified domain names and translates them into IP addresses. So this support person jumped on their PC. Looks like they remoted in, and then they went to their Etsy host file or wherever their host file was, and they put in some malicious entries. Okay. What are our options here? Diagnosis: misinformation, vishing, smishing, whaling. Misinformation, phishing, smishing, vishing, or whaling. I received an email from IT to install the remote app to fix my PC. I had to ship out a few boxes, so I let the support person work as he was in a rush. Misinformation, phishing, smishing, vishing, or whaling. Received an email. Justin Gold, welcome to the party. The heck is going on here? Justin, we are doing a makeup study session. I had to play that concert on Saturday outside of Aspen. And I promised the team, the Slay Security Plus team, that we don't miss study sessions. And then if we do miss one, we get one on the books. Misinformation. Yeah, I don't like it. Or phishing. It is the email with a remote app to fix my PC. Okay, so the remote in. I let the support person work as he was in a rush. So, urgency, authority, consensus, familiarity, social proof, or urgency. The haircut fish, Dan Reardon. Hey-o, let's go. Authority, consensus, familiarity, social proof, or urgency. Well, I wouldn't say authority because there's nobody that's purporting to be a boss or somebody with any authority over the other person. I don't think it's a consensus attack because we don't see that anything that's worded like, "Oh, we all do this," or "Don't you know that this is how it's done?" I don't see familiarity. I don't see social proof. I think urgency as well. Urgency, 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 urgency. Urgency. Okay, across the board, everybody in class is saying urgency. I can vibe with that. And then what's our mitigation? Avoid clicking links, block external emails, caller ID, email filtering, or record calls. Again, we don't have any phone stuff going on here, so we can take off caller ID and recording calls. You can't block all external emails. You can filter them, but you shouldn't block all external emails. Typically, any enterprise company, even me working in healthcare, I get emails from external senders all the time. So if I was to just completely block them from the company, I could get in some serious trouble because I know our C-suite and everybody else gets emails. But I'm guessing that this email was not actually from IT, and potentially email filtering would have helped that. Ozymandias. So the support person is working remotely on my PC. Yeah, it sounds like they got an email from IT, right? Wink, wink, IT, to install the remote app to fix my PC. They let the person in, and then they use the remote app to fix the PC, which is not uncommon in IT. We've got, Log Me In. There's all kinds of different remote applications, IT Ninja, whatever you use. So that's not too uncommon, right? So they use the app, they remote into the PC. Well, this person, the employee, had to ship a few boxes. So they let the support person work as he was in a rush. So that tells me that the support person said, "Hey, I'm in a rush." Somewhere in the email, it must have said, "This needs to be done ASAP. I'm in a hurry." And that's why we said urgency. When I came back, my computer was on a pornography site and it keeps doing pop-ups. What were you fixing anyways? And then we see it's updated from tier 1 support. They found DNS on the host file. Remember, the host file tells you on your local machine what DNS, where to send, what approved DNS entries. And it looks like it was misconfigured with malicious entries. And our diagnosis options are misinformation, phishing, smishing, vishing, and whaling. It doesn't say anything about us being a C-suite or an executive, so we can take off whaling. It wasn't a voice call or a phone call over voice, right? A VoIP call or anything like that. So we can take off vishing. The question doesn't state anything about text messaging. And so that leaves us with one of two options. And we have to choose the best of them. Is it misinformation or is it phishing? Typically with phishing, the way I think of phishing is a phishing email is trying to get you to give information. I received an email from IT to install the remote app to fix my PC. Technically, that is phishing. It's either phishing or misinformation. What do you guys think? Mitigation, I agree. Email filtering. Adversary tactic is urgency. And the diagnosis is either phishing or misinformation. Steph Cluis says, I wish I could stay to see the answers, but I have to run to a meeting. That's okay. Have a good meeting. Jay Gold is saying, I think it wants phishing, urgency, email filtering. All right, Jay Gold. Barricade Cyber Solutions own. All right, final questions of the PBQ before we roll into our regular practice questions. Excuse me. Ooh, that was a good one. Don't get sick, folks. And Jay Gold, to answer your question, I normally am working on premises, but I came down with this nasty cough. I worked in the office yesterday. My boss said, I'd prefer it if you worked from home. So, and I'm using some allotted time off that I have today to get a live stream in. I'd say phishing because the email wasn't attempting to misinform the user, only gain access, right? Adios, Steph Cluis. Final PBQ, or part of this PBQ. Submitted by Wyatt Artois. Message. I received a call. All right, so vishing. Here we go. I received a call from one of our vice presidents. Well, he said he was a vice president. He was a little angry for faxes not working. I'm new here, and I thought it was best to help him. He sent me a file he needed faxed ASAP. And I opened it, and there was no document. It's weird. But every hour, my application is closed, and my computer reboots. I keep losing my work. Updated from Tier 1 support. Found a script running in scheduled tasks to force a computer restart. Okay, so Wyatt gets a phone call from somebody who's purporting to be the vice president. I'm angry. My faxes aren't working. And you're new here, so I need you to fix it. I'm going to send you a file, and I need you to fax it ASAP. Okay, sir. I'll open it. I opened it, and there was no document. It's weird, but every hour my application's closed, and my computer reboots. I keep losing my work. Okay, so that's what happened, right? Yeah, somebody's doing it for the lulz. Sounds like someone got faxed. Oh. Diagnosis: misinformation, phishing, smishing, vishing, or whaling. Jesse is awesome. Cough syrup. Yeah, I need some. I took some last night. Knocked me out. It was the purple kind. Misinformation, phishing, smishing, whaling. That voice work just killed me. Glad I made somebody laugh. Well, it was a phone call. So I think our initial attack vector is vishing. Obviously, this threat actor who's pretending to be a vice president, his initial communication is a voice phone call. So we're going to say vishing. He then sends them a malicious file. That's different. Authority, consensus, familiarity, social proof, or urgency. Well, to me, there's two: urgency and authority. What do you guys think in chat? If you're just sitting down for this question, we'll do a quick recap. New guy gets a phone call from somebody claiming to be the vice president. Vice president is ticked off because the faxes aren't working. New guy thought it was best to help him because he thought it was the vice president. He sent him a file. The quote-unquote vice president sent him a file that he wanted faxed ASAP. The new guy opened it and there was no document. New guy's computer keeps closing and rebooting. Tier 1 support found a script running in scheduled tasks to force a computer restart. So, yeah, we do see urgency, but the main, I agree with Sleepy Queen, Agent 57. I think the main adversarial or adversary tactic is authority. This person's claiming to be one of the vice presidents. Ooh, and then here's our mitigation. Avoid clicking links, block external emails, caller ID, record calls, or use code words. Caller ID 2023? Really? Caller ID? I thought that was just like built into systems these days. Avoid clicking links. Well, we don't have a link to click here. Blocking external emails. Again, we wouldn't really want to do that anyways, but we know that this is a voice phone call. So it's either caller ID, record calls, or use code words. I think the haircut fish is absolutely right. Tell the vice president to go back to the early 90s for the fax solution. Ozymandias says avoid clicking links, and typically that's usually my go-to, but this is a phone call, right? There really isn't a link to click. It says that the fake vice president did send a file that they needed faxed ASAP, but they could have done that over file transport or some kind of file transport service. So could have been over Teams. So we don't know if it's necessarily. Agent 57 says one of the mitigations could be record calls for proof. Yeah, recording calls would be important. However, you're not really mitigating anything. You're just going back and saying, I knew that wasn't the vice president, right? So without any kind of attribution, it's really hard to, you can say, well, we recorded the call. We knew it wasn't the vice president, but outside of that, we don't have time to do any kind of voice analysis. I don't have the time, the capacity. In my head, it's either caller ID or use code words. Because if the vice president had a list of code words, potentially, Sleepy Queen says code words. Justin Gold, caller ID can be spoofed. Might be why they have it there as a trick answer. Code words is the correct answer, obviously. Yes. Okay, Jiggold. We'll go with code words. Everybody else seems to. All right. This one here, this first one, don't be surprised if it's not whaling, because a whaling attack targets somebody in the C-suite. This Jalen Morgan could very well be somebody, an executive who handles files. The average person, I have a feeling this is whaling going back. The average person at a company is not going to be one of our business partners. This is either whaling or fishing. All right, let's send it, y'all. 7 out of 9. Oh, I'll take it. Let's go. Which ones did we miss? Okay. So it looks like this one, the first one that was fishing, they probably wanted this diagnosis is a whaling attack, which we kind of thought it might be. The attacker directed the message specifically to their CFO. How am I supposed to know it's the CFO? That's a terrible question, but either way, we got the second one correctly. And then you can mitigate this attack by employing some kind of caller ID. So a little bit silly, but you know what? We got 7 out of 9 correct, which to me is a win. That is what a PBQ looks like. I love it, love it, love it. Let's get into some practice questions. Last week we did Professor Messer practice questions, and folks seem to like those. Drop in chat if you want to do the CompTIA practice questions, or if you want to do the Professor Messer practice questions. Kalume says CompTIA practice questions. Sleepy Queen says Professor Messer. Let's do a little bit of both. I was looking for a link, which I don't have Discord open. Jiggle, do you have a link for Tyler Ramsby's offensive security class? Our mentor, my mentor, and yours, Dr. Jerry Oger and the Simply Cyber Academy, have recently partnered up with Tyler Ramsby from Hack Smarter, good friend of ours in the community, a personal friend of mine, somebody who I look up to in the industry. And he just launched a free offensive security class that you can take through Simply Cyber Academy. Make sure you check that out. It's all over LinkedIn. Let's see if we can get that. I would love to get that information out to everybody, so bear with me. We'll jump back to the questions. LinkedIn, don't make me log back in. Nope. Let's find it. I know. Oh, you sent it on Discord? Well, I don't have Discord open. I don't want to open it right now. See if I can find it on my own. All right. Let's get you that information, folks. Thank you for bearing with me while we do this. We're going to jump on. I don't want to dox anybody, so I'm doing my best not to have that information up. Did you send it? Did you just message me, or did you send it in our group chat? Cool. Here we go, folks. Brought to you by Simply Cyber Academy. Tyler Ramsby. This is epic. Introduction to hacking methodology. Get hands-on learning ethical hacking with Tyler Ramsby. Make sure you check this out. This is absolutely free. You can't pass this kind of training up. All right. Oh boy. All right. Chat. Kalume, I hope I'm saying that right. Can you folks advise me which part I can spend more attention? My exam is taking place in 7 days. Excuse me, folks. When you say where you can spend more attention, do you mean like which domain? Kalume, what are you using for practice questions? Have you taken any practice tests? Yes. Yes, that's what you're asking me? Kalume, if you're on LinkedIn, find me on LinkedIn. We can have a conversation outside of this, and maybe I can help you, point you into the direction of some resources. All right, let's get cracking with some questions. Lesson 9, evaluate. So Justin Gold kind of said it in chat. Kalume, you want to practice what you're getting wrong, so it's hard for us to tell you. You need to take that practice exam all the way from beginning to end. Then you need to figure out all the areas that you got wrong and kind of map those to the domain that they're coming from and spend the rest of your time focusing on the domains in which you got most of the questions wrong in, right? You want to attack targeted study on those weak areas. First question, they're starting us off with, they say, is an expert question. Which of the following practices is critical for device hardening by providing a standard set of guidelines or checklists for configuring devices securely? A, regular maintenance cycle. B, user awareness training. C, least functionality principle. Or D, monitoring and encryption. Kalume, Lithier, Kalume, I think you're the same person. Maybe, maybe not. Excuse me, when is the next session? The next study session will actually be Saturday, this Saturday at 2 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today, and then back again on Saturday. The question, which of the following practices is critical for device hardening by providing a standard set of guidelines or checklists for configuring devices securely? A, regular maintenance cycle. B, user awareness training. C, least functionality principle. Or D, monitoring and encryption. Okay, cool, Kalume. Yeah, we'll be here next Saturday, and then I just dropped my LinkedIn there in chat, so find me on LinkedIn. Let's connect. Hey, Sleepy Queen, I know you hate to leave the party. We hate to see you go, but I liked having you while you were here. We'll be back next Saturday at 4 p.m. if you want to drop by and hang out with the community for a bit. We'd love to have you. Hope you have a good day picking up your kiddo. Stay safe out there. Regular maintenance cycle. Standard set of guidelines or checklists for devising securely. Monitoring and encryption is important. A standard set of guidelines or checklists. See, that's the part that gets me. And a regular maintenance cycle, I feel like A would provide that, right? We're regularly going through this cycle of maintaining our systems, and doing this, we can go through and make sure that everything is configured securely. Sleepy Queen says A, Kalume says A, Ozzy is going with A. User awareness training, that comes more down to the end user, making sure that they're aware of threats, not clicking on links. Email awareness, I don't think it's B. The least functionality principle, that has to do with how you would set up your equipment, your systems, that they can do just enough and they have just enough accesses to just enough resources and permissions to do their job and no more. I think it is A as well. D is the actions that could be part of A. Right. I'll tell you this, it's either A or it's C. What do we think, folks? A? All right, class. You went with A. I think I'm going to go with A. A regular maintenance cycle to me, principle is the only thing. Let's send it. Oh, it was C. Okay. We were close to being right. The least functionality principle is critical for device hardening by providing a standard set of guidelines or checklists for configuring devices securely. It ensures a system should only run the protocols and services required by legitimate users and no more, which reduces attack surface. That's okay. Let's see what they say about the one that we went with, which was incorrect. Establishing a regular maintenance cycle is important for keeping devices updated with security threats and responses, but it is not specifically related to providing guidelines for device hardening. Okay. It's all right. A security administrator plans to enhance the security posture of an organization's computing infrastructure. The administrator starts by documenting the current state of all system configurations and intends to establish a foundation to enforce security standards. Given the scenario, which security technique is the security administrator preparing to implement that ensures consistent application of security configurations across all systems in the organization? A, secure baselines, B, patch management, C, MFA or multi-factor authentication, or D, IDS or intrusion detection system. Oh, on that last question, Plumpy, welcome to the party, Plumpy. Hindsight is always 2020. It is. I had a feeling it was C, but mob mentality, and it's okay to get them wrong. I think it's important that you learn a lot of times so much more from the questions you get wrong than the ones that you get correct. The administrator is documenting the current state of all system configurations and intends to establish a foundation. That right there kind of spells out the answer to this question. Your options are A, secure baselines, B, patch management, C, multi-factor, or D, IDS? Kalume says A. Ordered chaos is also going with option A. Well, an IDS is important, but how do you know what rules to set without doing this first, right? What do you know is a clean slate? Multi-factor, again, is important, but this isn't really answering our question. Patch management is also very important, but you have to do the other thing first. I'm going with A, secure baselines as well. Bingo dingo. We are correct. All right, let's go. Ooh, this one looks tough. Expert, cool. A multinational corporation, so a company that has some things going on all over the world, has hired a lead IT consultant to assess the security of its various systems, including Windows and Linux servers, desktops, mobile devices in different countries. Okay. To ensure consistent security across all of these systems, which of the following tools would the consultant recommend the organization use to automate the deployment of secure baseline configurations? A. Center for Internet Security Configuration Assessment Tool. Oof. B. Security Content Automation Protocol, or SCAP. C. Puppet. Or D. Security Technical Implementation Guides, or STIGs. So an IT company with Linux desktops, Linux servers, Windows servers, desktops, mobile devices all over the world has hired me to ensure consistent security across all of these systems. Which tool do I want to recommend to the organization to automate the deployment of secure baseline configurations? So at the end of the day, the company is saying, which tool would you use to automate the deployment of secure baseline configurations across these systems? B, SCAP. SCAP. Or it's A, Center for Internet Security Configuration Assessment Tool. This is a tough question. So I've got two people in class saying B. Plumpy says I never heard of A, Center for Internet Security Configuration Assessment Tool. Let's Google. Let's give it a goog. Rip a goog. CIS cat. Okay, so it does a powerful tool for automating CIS benchmark assessment and reporting. I'm watching while I work with the sound off. LOL. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, Andy McPherson. Welcome to the party. We're about to wrap up. We are about to wrap up this study session. I got to get back to work. I haven't had any phishing alerts come through, but I need to continue to track down a machine in our system. Anyways, I'm working on some engineering today. So this has been a wonderful break. Let's look at SCAP. A set of open standards that helps checklists that help organizations identify and fix security issues. Okay. I like SCAP going back. I kind of knew what that did. Plumpy's going with A. It's either A or B. I'm going to go with B. I think it's either A or B. We agree. And this is a great method to have when you're studying, have an answer in your head and then maybe go with what your gut tells you or vice versa. And then if you get it wrong, but you also had that backup answer that it could be, you could make a note of that. Remember, this is the study process. We're not sitting down at the desk, officially taking our test today. We're just studying. We're refining our skills. We're looking at little strategies within the way they ask questions. The correct answer was C, Puppet. Organizations can use configuration management tools like Puppet to automate the deployment of secure baseline configurations across various diverse systems. Puppet helps enforce consistency and detect deviations from the established baseline. What is Puppet? Puppet is a configuration management tool that helps development operations teams automate server configurations. It is used to manage, desired state. That makes sense. Okay. Live and learn. I will mark that one on my own study guide. Is often a third party that processes data on behalf of the data controller. All right, folks, I've got to get back to doing some cybersecurity work, preventing some phishing attacks, managing some alerts, tuning our cybersecurity systems. Thank you so much for spending part of your Tuesday afternoon with me, the Cosmic Cowboy, as we navigate some Security Plus questions. Just a gentle reminder, you can catch us every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless something comes up, in which case we have a makeup session just like this. It's awesome to be with you. I hope that you'll have a wonderful Tuesday. And until next time, stay secure, and I'll see you on Saturday. Have a great day, everybody.